Have you ever wondered how much of our success is actually in our control? Today we're diving into a powerful story that shows how one single shift in how we think, the story we tell ourselves, can literally rewrite our entire reality.
It's a question we've all asked, right? You see people who are successful and you wonder, what's their secret? Is it just luck? Do they have more resources? Or is it something deeper? Something going on inside their head? That's exactly what we're going to get into.
You know, the writer Napoleon Hill really hit the nail on the head with this one. He saw this direct line connecting our thoughts to our outcomes. It's a huge idea. Our inner world literally builds our outer world. And this very concept is the key to the incredible story we're about to explore.
So our story kicks off with someone who feels completely stuck, living a life that he thinks is defined only by what he doesn't have.
Okay, so picture a really busy railway station. Every single day, a beggar is there, and he survives by asking people for money. His entire worldview is built on one single belief. He is a taker. He has absolutely nothing of value to give. So when he spots a well-dressed businessman, he doesn't really see a person, he sees an opportunity, a walking wallet.
So he walks up to the businessman, hand out, just expecting a few coins. But what he gets instead is a moment that is going to change his life forever.
Instead of just giving him money, the businessman looks him right in the eye and asks this simple but totally disruptive question. It just completely breaks the script. You know, the beggar is expecting pity, but instead he gets a direct challenge to his entire way of thinking.
And the beggar's answer? It's immediate, almost like a reflex. It's his core belief speaking for him. I'm just a beggar. I have nothing to give. He's just confused, because in his world the roles are set in stone. Some people give, and people like him, they take.
So what the businessman is doing here is introducing this incredibly powerful idea, the principle of exchange. See, he doesn't operate on charity, he operates on trade. The idea is simple but profound. To get something of value, you first have to give something of value. It's a basic rule of business, and as he's about to show, maybe it's a basic rule of life too.
And with that one last powerful statement, the businessman just leaves. Now, he's not being cruel, he's just sticking to his principle. But for the beggar, those words just hang in the air, leaving him totally stunned there on the platform. The conversation might be over, but its impact is just getting started.
Okay, this is where the story really shifts. It's not about the businessman anymore. It's about the revolution that's starting to happen inside the beggar's own mind. Just think about how powerful that one conversation was. For 2 whole days, the beggar stops begging. He's not even thinking about money. His mind is completely consumed by what the businessman said. He's just replaying it over and over, wrestling with this radical new idea that he, too, should have something valuable to offer. And then on the 3rd day, he has this aha moment. He notices some wildflowers growing near the train tracks, and a new thought just sparks. What if this is my value? What if, instead of just taking, I offer a flower to every single person who gives me something? It seems like such a small idea, but for him, it's about to change absolutely everything.
This right here, this is the mental switch flipping. He is shifting from that beggar's mindset, which is all about taking and scarcity, to a businessman's mindset, which is all about exchange and value. He hasn't even left the station, but he's already completely changing his identity from the inside out.
So what happens when you start acting from this new identity? Well, the results are pretty much immediate, and they are profound. The whole progression is just incredible. He starts giving out flowers, and right away he spots a pattern. People give him more money, and more generously, when they get something in return. They're not just giving him charity anymore, they're taking part in a trade. And that little observation turns his small act into a system, and in just 6 months, he's not on the platform anymore. He's a successful business owner. So during this whole transformation, he actually runs into that same businessman again. He's so excited, he offers to sell him some flowers. The businessman smiles, buys a couple, and he validates the change he sees, telling him, "You're not a beggar anymore, you're a businessman." And that external validation, it's like pouring gasoline on the fire of his new internal belief.
And this is the moment it all clicks into place. It hits him. He realizes people aren't giving him money out of pity. They are paying for the flowers. He's not a beggar getting alms. He is a trader making a sale. He finally truly understands the secret.
The story comes full circle 6 months later.
in one final encounter that really shows just how total this transformation has been.
So 6 months after he left the station for good, two sharply dressed men meet on that very same platform. The original businessman doesn't even recognize the other guy, who is now just as confident and successful looking. And the man reveals who he is. He was the beggar, and now he's actually traveling to expand his flower business. And they shake hands, not as a rich man and a poor man, but as equals.
And this is his ultimate realization. The businessman didn't really give him anything, except an idea. The flowers were always there, the potential was always there. The change didn't happen when he got money, it happened the second he changed how he saw himself. He was never a beggar who became a businessman. He was a businessman who had simply been thinking he was a beggar.
What's great about this story is that it gives us a really clear roadmap for change. First, you have to shift how you see yourself. Second, figure out what value you can offer, no matter how small you think it is. And third, you have to act on that new belief. When you do those things, your reality almost has no choice but to change in response.
Which of course brings the question right back to us. The beggar's value was a simple wildflower he found by the side of the tracks. We all have something of value inside of us, a skill, a kindness, an idea. So the real question this story leaves us with is, what's your flower, and are you ready to start offering it?